Hey folks, there's a term out there that I hear all the time, especially from politicians, from conservative politicians, the radical left. It gets thrown out all the time. People are always chucking that thing around. The radical left is going to do this, the radical left is going to do that, the radical left is going to ruin our country, the radical left is going to ruin our culture, the radical left is going to ruin our society, so on and so forth. I thought today I'd talk about what that term means for me as a Christian priest. What does it mean to be the radical left? See, for me, and this might sound strange, it's my goal. It's where I hope to be. I hope to be moving in the direction of the radical left. I'm not talking socialism or communism or any Marxism or Leninism or any of the other isms. I'm talking about Jesus. I believe Jesus is way out there on the radical left. I believe that's where he asks us to go. I believe that's where he calls us to go. I believe when we walk in his footsteps, that's the direction we should be moving. There's this story in the Gospels where Jesus encounters, it says he encounters a rich young man. And through their conversation, the rich young man says, "What do I need to do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus, ultimately, he gets to the place where he says, "You must sell everything you have, give it to the poor, and then come follow me." The Gospel tells us that the rich young man goes away sad because it was too much. Jesus was asking too much of him. He couldn't give up all that he had. He couldn't take all that he had, sell it, and then give away the proceeds. He couldn't let go of his wealth. This, to me, is talking about more than money. The story, to me, is talking about more than money, though it is talking about money and material possessions. It's talking about those things that we value and those things that we cherish, those things that we hold on to for dear life. Our money, our possessions, our principles, our routines, our comforts, the things that we're used to. When we think about that radical left mentality, and often people like Bernie Sanders or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they'll get sort of labeled as the radical left, like the poster children for the radical left. And their values, the principles, the things they espouse, they sort of lend themselves to that idea. Universal health care, the Green New Deal, forgiving of student debt, free university education. In order for us to get there as societies, a lot of things would have to change. A lot of things would have to change. And a lot of that stuff that would have to change would be about helping others, those people around us, especially the vulnerable, the poor, those in need. It would involve us letting go of who we are, of what we have, in order to help raise them up. Now again, we're not talking about any isms. I actually don't believe any of the isms that are out there really adequately articulate the call of Jesus Christ. To follow Christ along this line, to follow Christ in the direction of the radical left, it's about giving of ourselves. We have to give up. We have to choose to let go of the way our lives go. We'd have to choose to let go of our understanding of our safety, of our expectations. We'd have to let go of our idea of how things are supposed to work, so that we could make the drastic changes that are required in order to raise up the entire population, in order to make this world a place of equality, a place of equity, a place of justice, a world of mercy and love, a world of compassion and understanding. We only get there if we truly follow the path that Jesus calls us to. The path of self-sacrifice. It's not an easy path. It's not an easy path at all. We actually have to go through some pretty big things to be willing to let go. But I don't believe Jesus calls us to a place of conservatism. I don't believe Jesus calls us to a place where we hoard our wealth for ourselves. I don't believe Jesus calls us to a place where we build up around ourselves the things that we need in order to feel safe and comfortable. I don't believe Jesus calls us to a place where we're looking out for ourselves and for what we love and for who we love. I think Jesus, throughout the course of the entirety of the gospel, is calling us to let go of all that is meaningful to us so that we can enrich the lives of others. I know the term radical left is used as a derogatory term. It's used to put people down. But I don't believe Jesus calls us in any other direction. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we are willing, that we are bold and courageous, so that we can follow Jesus the direction He asks us to follow. So that we can be like Him. So that we can move with Him. So that we can let go like Him. So that we can be radical like Him. Amen.